My beloved child, before you move on to the next thing, before you convince yourself that this message is meant for someone else, before you allow distractions to pull your attention away, take a moment and listen carefully. Because there are certain seasons in life that feel confusing while you're living through them. Seasons that seem unfair. Seasons that seem unnecessary. Seasons that leave you asking questions nobody can answer. And if you've been living through one of those seasons lately, then what I'm about to say may speak directly to your heart. You have been carrying burdens that most people know nothing about. Not because you wanted to hide them, but because after a while, you learned how to carry pain quietly. You learned how to smile when your heart was hurting. You learned how to keep showing up even when your energy was gone. You learned how to encourage others while secretly needing encouragement yourself. And somewhere along the journey, you became stronger than you ever imagined. But you also became tired. Very tired. Not physically tired. Soul tired. The kind of exhaustion that comes from fighting battles nobody sees. The kind of exhaustion that comes from waiting for answers that never seem to arrive. The kind of exhaustion that comes from carrying responsibilities, disappointments, and unanswered questions for far longer than expected. My child, I know there have been moments when you wondered whether your efforts even mattered. Moments when you questioned whether anything was changing. Moments when you felt stuck while everyone else seemed to be moving forward. You watched people succeed. You watched people celebrate. You watched doors open for others. And quietly you wondered, what about me? When will my season come? When will my breakthrough arrive? When will things finally make sense? Those questions are understandable. Because waiting is difficult. Especially when you don't know how long the wait will last. Especially when you can't see what is happening behind the scenes. Especially when life feels silent. But hear this carefully. Silence does not always mean nothing is happening. Some of the most important developments happen where nobody can see them. Think about a seed planted beneath the ground. For weeks it appears invisible. Nothing seems different. Nothing seems improved. Nothing seems to be happening. Yet underneath the surface, growth is taking place. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Foundations are being built. And one day what was invisible suddenly becomes visible. People call it an overnight success. But it was never overnight. It was growing the entire time. The same is true for your life. You have spent years developing strength nobody can see. Years building character. Years learning wisdom. Years gaining perspective. Years surviving challenges that would have broken many others. And although those seasons felt painful, they were not meaningless. Every challenge taught you something. Every disappointment revealed something. Every setback prepared you for something. Every closed door redirected you somewhere. Nothing was wasted. Nothing. My beloved child, one of the hardest truths to accept is that not every person is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people arrive for a season. Some people arrive for a lesson. Some people arrive to help you grow. And some people leave because their assignment in your life has been completed. Yet when people leave, it hurts. When relationships change, it hurts. When support disappears, it hurts. When people misunderstand your intentions, it hurts. When loyalty becomes distance, it hurts. And for a long time, you carried questions about those departures. Why did they leave? Why did they change? Why did things end? Why did support turn into silence? Why did loyalty become disappointment? But sometimes what feels like rejection is actually redirection. Sometimes what feels like loss is making room for growth. Sometimes what feels like an ending is quietly preparing a beginning. You could not see it then. But many of those departures were creating space. Space for healing. Space for growth. Space for maturity. Space for the next chapter. My child, growth often feels lonely. Nobody talks about that part. People celebrate success. People celebrate breakthrough. People celebrate transformation. But very few people talk about the isolation that often comes before it. The nights when nobody understands you. The moments when you feel different from everyone around you. The seasons when it seems like you're walking a path nobody else can see. Those moments are real. And they are painful. But they are also powerful. Because isolation often becomes a classroom. A place where wisdom grows. A place where faith deepens. A place where character develops. A place where you discover who you truly are when nobody is applauding. And perhaps that is exactly what has been happening. You have been learning lessons that could never be learned in comfort. You have been developing resilience, patience, wisdom, discipline, endurance. And one day those qualities will become some of your greatest strengths. My beloved child, you are not the same person you were a year ago. You are not the same person you were during your hardest season. Life has changed you. But not in the way fear wanted. You became stronger, wiser, more discerning, more resilient, more focused, more grateful, more aware of what truly matters. The very storms that threatened to break you ended up building you. The very battles that tried to stop you ended up strengthening you. The very obstacles that seemed impossible ended up teaching you lessons that will serve you for the rest of your life. And now something inside you knows that change is coming. You can feel it. You may not fully understand it. You may not be able to explain it. But you can sense it. A shift. A stirring. A feeling that the chapter you've been living is nearing its conclusion. That feeling isn't weakness. That feeling isn't imagination. That feeling is growth. Because the person who started this journey is not the same person listening right now. You have changed. You have grown. You have survived. And that matters. My child, never forget this, you are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by who you became because of it. The betrayal did not define you. The rejection did not define you. The heartbreak did not define you. The disappointment did not define you. The failure did not define you. Those experiences affected you. But they do not own you. They are chapters. Not conclusions. Moments. Not identities. Part of your story. Not the whole story. And your story is still being written. There are still pages left. Still blessings ahead. Still opportunities ahead. Still healing ahead. Still purpose ahead. Still joy ahead. Still victories ahead. You have not come this far just to stop now. You have not survived everything you survived just to quit here. You have not endured all those difficult seasons just to surrender before the breakthrough. Keep moving. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Keep growing. Because some of the greatest chapters begin immediately after the hardest seasons. If this message spoke directly to your heart today, don't just listen to it. Respond to it. Right now type, "Chosen, I will not give up" in the comments. Not because a comment changes your future, but because declarations change mindsets. And mindsets change lives. Share this message with someone who is fighting a battle nobody knows about. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next message that may be exactly what your spirit needs. And before you leave, remember this: the waiting was not wasted. The silence was not abandonment. The struggle was not punishment. The story is not over. Your next chapter may be closer than you think.